His first year, he did very well. He did very well that first year, but his draft was atrocious. I mean, it was abysmal. I mean, he made Hedgie look smart in that draft, and that was one of the years. I'm not going to say blank stare. I'm not going to say it looked like there was nothing going on between your ears, but he made you look good, man. So I mean, but he parlayed that into success. He found a way to. He was scrappy on the waiver wire. That was the year he found Chris Johnson.
Very good about the waiver wire.
So don't count Jared out yet, but it is a good point that strictly based off of his draft, not looking good at this point. Got some work to do,
I just feel like there's a lot of sleepers out there, maybe that guys that could produce, but not like sure things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of the rest of us, we took those sure things right away. We took a lot more chances. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I feel like one of the sleepers, more importantly, was like Plaxico Burress. I mean, he was gone for 2 years. I mean, he worked out and everything, but I feel like that maybe he's slower, but I feel like he still has that there where he could be a top team player.
There are a lot of guys out there like that, and like a big part of winning this league is being able to find those guys to produce for you, taking a chance on them, seeing how that works out for you.
Let's keep moving, because we don't want to keep anybody here too long. I think we've already been going for like 20-some minutes. So, Jesse, you're.
Well, it'll be an hour long. I don't care.
It's like closer to 40. That's crazy. Okay. Anyway, Jesse, you're up.
All right. What do you?
We're doing draft day winners and losers.
Why don't we let Hedgie go? You'll close us out. So I expect big things. Who's your draft day winner? Who's your draft day loser?
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah.
Well, my draft day winner, I would have to say, would be. I feel like it'd be between Devin and Steve. I mean, I really can't debate between the two. You guys have always been the top team to really go against. I mean, you guys have always been, sleeper. This guy looks like he'll do it, and he does it every year. And you guys will always get the veterans or the people who can make the plays that you guys think or will do. So, I mean, the winner would have to be between you two. I mean, I can't really ever decide that.
I'm alright with that.
I'll share that.
Thank you.
Loser, I would have to say, Kevin. I feel like, last year was a complete. I don't want to offend him or anything, but it was ridiculous and a fluke. And I love you, Kevin, so much, but when you were, every player that somebody called out, he was like, well, who's that guy? Is he black or is he white? Who do you play for? I don't see him winning another championship for as long as he is in the league.
Wow, that's a pretty bold statement.
I know. I'm gonna say it.
Statements.
I know I'm being harsh and probably cold-fucking hearted. Probably cold-hearted, but that's what I feel. So I'm gonna have to say loser today is gonna be Kevin, and part of the winner would be between Devin and Steve. So I feel like you guys are probably you guys are the two contenders that are going to be taking it this year. So I'm hoping it's not true because I like to win against you guys.
I'm hoping it is true.
Yeah.
So.
But you guys know what's going on. You guys really go more in depth than I've ever seen anybody going into. So I'm I feel like you guys are a threat to me. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Jesse, before you defend your trade, I want you to just do a straight up draft day winner and loser, and then you can defend your trade, and then we'll close it up after that.
All right. It's hard for me to call a winner. I think one of the things that I really concentrated on in my draft strategy this year was sleepers and busts, and there were a lot of busts that I kind of came up with in situational circumstances, and there wasn't one team that didn't have any busts that I was trying to avoid. But I think just looking at the later rounds specifically, I have to say that Mike really came out in front of a lot of people. He came out with a lot of sleepers that I thought a lot of people were just overlooked. He especially after round 6, he took a chance on Vic. He took a chance on Tony Romo. Those are two quarterbacks that they're pretty spotty in their performance. Tony Romo can put up some big numbers, but he tends to choke a little bit in bigger games, so it's harder to say.
Except Mike.
Yeah.
I drafted those.
Oh, yeah, those are Steve. Okay, well, Steve drafted those quarterbacks, so those are two quarterbacks that I would probably try and avoid. But yeah, Mike had a lot of sleeper drafts that I thought a lot of people just overlooked, and I think that'll really pan out for him early on in the season.
I think he just suffered from the curse of Jay Cutler. Take that guy, you're basically screwed for the season.
Yeah, there was a couple picks that I was pretty. Sean Green, I thought was a pretty good pick for him, as late as he got.
I was very impressed with the Sean Green pick.
Very good pick at the running back position. I thought
I was going to get him that round, but I ended up having to settle for Mark Ingram that same round because of the Sean Green issue.
And I thought Mike Sims Walker, as late as he got him, you're talking about 13th round pick. That's not a bad pick for him.
No, not at all.
Mike is a game changer in our draft because of the fact that usually when you add newbies, they're not. You don't have to worry about them stealing from you.
Exactly.
But Mike isn't like that. Mike is not a noob. Mike is here. He's queer. Get used to it.
He knows his sport. I'll give him that. I mean, he does stay on top of everything. So, I mean, and when you see somebody like that, I mean, when you compare the new, because Mike and Kevin both came in at the same time, I believe Mike is more into sports than Kevin is. So Mike knew where to go from there.
I think the Reggie Bush pickup could really. I mean, what does he have to lose picking up Bush in the 12th round? I mean,
he has a lot of late draft picks that I feel like they shouldn't be counted out. They absolutely could be game changers.
Yeah.
They're not picks that a lot of guys will pick players in the 12th, 13th round that are just throwaways. It's roster fillers, but his late draft picks are picks that can put up the points. So he's got a really well-rounded team there, and I think that outside of the big names who will put up points consistently, I think that the nickel and dime strategy isn't bad. And if you would look at sleepers, Mike really came out on top as far as that goes. If you want to talk about draft losers, it's hard to look past Kevin's draft. It's not just that he picked 4 tight ends. It's just he came into the draft and it felt like he was really unprepared for the situation. You got 10 teams, you got 15 rounds. Everybody's going
last.
Everybody, yeah, he's picking last. So last in the first round, you got to come with a list of names that's going to get you through 15 rounds, and it was pretty clear that he didn't do that, and I think that's why he ended up with so many tight ends. So maybe a little more draft preparation would help him out, but yeah, he's going to have to do some waiver wire pickup. He's going to have to do some trades that's going to help him through the rest of the season. But if he can't manage that, I have a hard time seeing him making the playoffs, and I have a hard time seeing another team that's just going to be weaker overall because of that.
So give us in like a minute and a half or less. Give us your definitive defense for your trade. We've heard all the cons about it. We've heard a lot of the pros for your trade, and your new lease on fantasy football life. But let's hear it from the nose's mouth or whatever.
Should we find my nose right now?
Yes, yes, I am.
How
He
you
understood
talk
what I
about
was saying.
it.
Anyways,
Okay.
go ahead. It's on you.
Start
I'll
talking.
close this out.
Steve, shut up. Start talking.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers was the top scoring player in the league last year. He just scored better every week than everyone else. It's hard to argue with that. You're talking about one player in one position. Quarterback is not the position that's going to carry your team anymore. You gotta, because we dropped that one quarterback position, you're looking at a more well-rounded team situation that's going to take you to the championship. Aaron Rodgers is going to put up the points Phillip Rivers is going to put up the points. He's not going to put up that much less points than Aaron Rodgers would. When you look at my receiving core, which I got because I had 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, you're looking at 3 top 10 receivers who are going to put up 10, 15 points a week. Like you're looking at 45 points a week just for my receiving core. Phillip Rivers, he threw for 4,700 yards last year. You can expect at least that from him this year. He's going to put up 20 points a week. You're looking at 65 points right off the bat without blinking an eye. So I think if you look at the picks that I got in the first 3 rounds for giving up Aaron Rodgers, I think if you look at the point difference between what Aaron Rodgers can put up and what those players can put up, I think it was a no-brainer to take that trade. And I think that the point totals that I put up this year in all of my games, it'll prove that. So when you look at overall point total and when I win the division this year,
Okay.
I think
There he
that'll.
goes.
I got to ask one
I
question.
think that'll.
Are you not? I mean, are you worried about what the players that you're banking on from after this trade? Like, I mean, because every year that you've had somebody big and important, they've failed you in every way. I mean, aren't you worried that like these players will fail you? I mean, you're taking a huge risk because you got rid of a top tier player to go with these other players.
Yeah, and that's been my strategy in the past is relying on one superstar to put up those points and carry the rest of my team. And after last season, it wasn't my greatest performance. I realized that's not something you can rely on anymore. So, like Mike is realizing with the sleepers, the nickel and dime is really what's going to win you the games. And I focused on what Steve has done and what Devin has done in their drafts for the past few years, and they both really like to focus on the receivers. So I think that's where you get the points, and I think that position is overlooked. And giving up Aaron Rodgers, who's going to put up the big points, getting Phillip Rivers, who's going to put up consistent points, and then getting a better receiver core than probably I've ever had in this league. I think that's going to be the ticket for me this year. So I think it was worth it.
It's a proven strat. It's, I think it's going to work out for you.
Well, yeah, I hope it does.
So this has been your inaugural edition of the Steve Shack Live. Trying something new. Now I'll be back, and it's not going to be a 40-some minute affair, hour-long affair from now on. You're not going to need to block out an hour of your day when you're ready to watch this. It's gonna be, I'll be in and out 2 to 10 minutes, somewhere in that range. And you can expect me back soon with my grade for everyone's draft, and my season preview. I'll give my picks on what I think every person is going to end up this season, and I will give my preseason prognosticus. So hope you look forward to that. I got some analytics to do, and I will be back. Peace.